I opened the door, key still jingling in my hand, soaked from the rain, thinking I'd just step inside, kiss my wife, hug my kids, and collapse after a long day at work. Instead, I was greeted by dead silence. And every single face in that room burned into my memory like a scar I'd carry forever. There they were, my entire damn family, seated like they were waiting for a funeral. My wife Olivia sat with her legs crossed, arms folded, looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. My mom and dad looked tense, eyes darting back and forth. My daughter Emma clung to her stuffed panda. My teenage son Liam fidgeted, eyes glossy. And then there was Jack. My brother. Jack. He sat at the end of the couch. Relaxed. Too relaxed. Like he already knew he had the upper hand. I blinked. What's going on? Liam stood up, hands trembling. Dad, please sit down. I didn't move. You need to face the truth, he said, voice cracking. You're no longer the head of this family. Uncle Jack has taken that role for us now. I laughed. I actually King laughed. Not because it was funny, but because my brain refused to process what I just heard. What? Is this a joke? Jack didn't even blink. Just leaned back like he'd just claimed a promotion I was too slow to take. Then Olivia stood. They deserve stability, Mark. Leadership. Not whatever you are now. I looked at her. Really looked at her. Her once soft eyes, now filled with nothing but calculated coldness. Her voice sharp, rehearsed. I saw it in that moment. The distance, the late nights, the perfume that wasn't mine, the fake smiles. It all clicked like a damn puzzle snapping into place. You cheated on me, I said. Not a question. A statement. She didn't flinch. It wasn't cheating, Mark. It was survival. You were emotionally absent. Always tired. You didn't see me anymore. Ked my brother. That got her. A flicker of guilt. Barely there, but I caught it. My mother spoke up then, my own mother, Mark, please. It's time you let go. Olivia and Jack. They make more sense now. You can't hold on to something that's dead. I staggered backward like she'd punched me. You're telling me to accept this? We're telling you it's already done, my father said quietly. Emma started crying. That was it. The final nail. I turned to Jack. You've been screwing my wife and poisoning my family behind my back? He smirked. I didn't poison anything, bro. I just picked up where you failed. I snapped, grabbed the nearest chair and hurled it at the wall. Glass shattered. My daughter screamed. Jack stood. Temper tantrums won't help, Mark. And Olivia? She rolled her eyes like I was some child acting out at Walmart. You're pathetic, she said. That's why I left you, emotionally, years ago. I was working to provide for all of you. No, she snapped. You were escaping us. You were a ghost in your own house. And Jack, he sees me. He actually wants me. And what about our kids? I asked, voice hoarse. They've already adjusted. Liam turned away. Emma sobbed harder. My father looked ashamed. My mother avoided my gaze. Get out, I whispered. No one moved. I said get the K out. Only then did Jack speak again, voice low and smug. No, you get out. This house? The mortgage is under both your names, but Olivia already filed for exclusive residency. And guess what? We already filed for divorce last week. I staggered back again. Filed? She'd planned this. Premeditated. Every cold kiss, every excuse, every girl's night. With her makeup too perfect, she'd been laying the groundwork while I tucked in our kids and paid our bills. And now she wanted me gone. That was the moment something in me died. But something darker also woke up. I didn't say another word. I turned, walked out the door, and drove until my hands stopped shaking. And by the time the rage settled, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I sat in my truck that night, rain beating against the windshield like the world was trying to match the chaos in my head. My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. Every word Olivia said echoed like gunshots. You're no longer the head of this family. Jack sees me. We already filed for divorce. It was all a blur. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even feel pain at that point. Just this heavy numbness swallowing me whole. But even in that void, a voice in my head kept whispering, get proof. Get everything. Burn it down, legally. I knew Olivia too well. She was calculating, manipulative, and twisted enough to make herself look like the victim in court. And Jack? He always had a way of playing the good guy. Charming, funny, everyone's favorite uncle. No one would believe they betrayed me unless I had cold, hard evidence. So I drove. Straight to the one place they didn't think I'd go. Home. I parked 3 blocks down and walked through the backyard, drenched and invisible in the dark. My garage still had the old keypad Olivia hadn't changed. I typed in the code, 0617, her birthday, and slipped in quietly. The house smelled different now. Like Jack's cologne. Like betrayal. I moved like a ghost through the kitchen, past the fridge filled with food I didn't buy, to our bedroom where I knew Olivia kept her laptop. It wasn't password protected. She always thought I was too technologically challenged to ever snoop. Big mistake. I sat on the edge of the bed we used to share and opened her email. Within minutes, I hit gold. Subject lines like, "Last night was unreal, red heart. Delete this if Mark sees it. Can't wait till we don't have to sneak anymore." Each one another dagger in my gut. But I didn't stop. I screenshotted everything, sent it to my encrypted burner email, and backed it up on a USB I always kept in my truck. Then I opened her messages. There it was. Jack's name. With photos. I nearly threw up. Them in my backyard, holding hands. In my kitchen, cooking dinner together. In bed, my bed, with his hand on her thigh, her biting her lip like she was starring in some twisted rom-com. The worst part? Their conversation. Jack, you think he suspects? Olivia, not a clue. He's clueless. He still thinks we're just fighting over stupid stuff. Jack, we're going to win this divorce easy. He's emotionally unstable. Let's get full custody too. Olivia, Liam and Emma deserve better. You, not him. That was it. That was the moment the rage cut through the numbness like fire through ice. They were trying to take everything from me. I copied the entire message thread, every single disgusting word, and even managed to grab a screenshot of Jack's face during a video call. He was shirtless in my living room, the same spot where I'd once built a Lego castle with Emma. I had what I needed, but before I left, I did something I didn't plan. I walked to Olivia's vanity and looked in the mirror. My eyes looked like they belonged to someone else. Someone broken, but rebuilding. Someone dangerous if crossed again. And then I opened the drawer where she kept her journal. She always bragged that she used writing to heal emotionally. I opened the most recent entry. Jack said I'm getting too soft. But how can I not feel bad? Mark's a good dad. He just isn't the man I need anymore. Jack's bold, fearless, knows how to make me feel alive. I just hope the custody thing doesn't break Liam. He's close to Mark. But we have to do what's best for us. They were going to use my own son as a pawn. I closed the journal. Calm. Focused. I left the house the way I came. No trace. No noise. But I wasn't the same man who entered. I was done being the nice guy. The husband. The provider. Now, I was about to become their worst ***king nightmare. The next morning, I walked into my lawyer's office like a man on a mission. I hadn't slept. I didn't need to. Rage, betrayal, and purpose ran through my veins like adrenaline. Melissa, my divorce attorney, had seen a lot in her years, but even she blinked twice when I dropped the USB on her desk. "What's this?" she asked, cocking a brow. "Everything," I said. "Proof that my wife's cheating on me with my brother. Planning to take the house. The kids. Everything." She slid the USB into her laptop and opened the files. As soon as she saw the first screenshot, Olivia in lingerie on a video call with Jack, her jaw tightened. "Jesus Christ," she muttered. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Welcome to my personal hell." I let her scroll through the emails, the messages, the journal entries I'd scanned. Every twisted plan, every cruel word Olivia had written. Melissa looked up. "Do they know you have this?" "No. And they won't. Not yet. Then we strike first." She explained everything. Filing for primary custody, contesting her petition, freezing joint accounts. I didn't even blink. I just nodded. The confrontation had to happen. But it wouldn't be a screaming match on the porch. No, that wasn't how this game would be played. Not anymore. I waited until Sunday. Family dinner. The only thing Olivia still pretended to care about for appearances. I showed up unannounced. Olivia opened the door, clearly not expecting me. "What are you doing here?" she snapped, instantly going into performance mode. "I miss my kids," I said. "And my family." Behind her, Jack stood in the kitchen, laughing with Liam like he was already the new dad. My parents sat at the table. My mother looked up and forced a weak smile. Olivia hesitated. Then, like the manipulative actress she was, she stepped aside. "Of course. Come in." I stepped inside and shut the door behind me. Everything inside me was fire, but I smiled. "Hey, Jack," I said casually. He turned around. "Mark, didn't expect you." "I bet." I walked over to Emma, kissed her on the head, and knelt down. "How's my girl?" She lit up and hugged me tight. "I missed you, Daddy." I looked up and met Jack's eyes. "I missed you too, sweetheart." Then I stood. The silence that followed was thick. Everyone could feel it. I pulled out a small envelope and placed it on the table. "What's that?" Olivia asked, folding her arms. "Reality," I said. She grabbed it, opened the flap, and the color drained from her face. Inside were printouts of every email, every message. A screenshot of the journal entry about taking custody. A still from her video call with Jack, wearing nothing but my old hoodie. Her hand trembled as she flipped through them. Jack walked over and peeked inside. His smirk faded instantly. "You were in our house?" he growled. "Oh yeah," I said, stepping closer. "You really should have changed the garage code, Jack." "You violated," Olivia started, voice rising. "I existed in my own house," I said. "And I found out you two were plotting to tear apart my family. You betrayed your husband. And you, Jack, betrayed your own blood." My mother whispered something under her breath. My father looked like he'd just swallowed a grenade. "Here's what's going to happen," I said coldly. "I'm filing for full custody. I've frozen our accounts. And I've got more than enough to destroy both of you in court." Olivia's face turned red. "You can't do that. I have rights." "You had rights," I cut her off. "You lost them the moment you turned my kids against me and opened your legs to my brother." She slapped me. Hard. But I didn't flinch. "You know what?" I whispered, smiling. "Thank you. That'll look great in court." Jack stepped between us. "You think you're going to walk away the hero?" "No," I said, stepping into his face. "I'm not the hero. I'm the King Storm you didn't see coming." I kissed my daughter goodbye, looked at Liam, who wouldn't even meet my eyes, and walked out without looking back. I'd set the pieces. The game had just begun. 3 weeks later, we were standing in family court. I had a crisp suit on, but it wasn't about how I looked. It was about what I brought with me. Evidence. Facts. The truth. Olivia wore a soft beige dress like she was some innocent homemaker caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Jack sat behind her, wearing a tailored navy suit and a smug smile like he already knew the outcome. They held hands like the world had been so cruel to them. But I wasn't there to play nice anymore. Melissa stood beside me, calm and razor-sharp. She nodded once before the hearing began. The judge entered, a tired-looking woman with silver-rimmed glasses and an air of no-nonsense. She glanced at our files, then at us. "This is a custody modification case. Allegations of infidelity and attempted parental alienation. Let's begin." Olivia's lawyer, some fancy guy named Daniel Cross, tried to paint a picture of me as emotionally unavailable, borderline aggressive, and unable to provide a stable emotional environment. He even mentioned the shattered chair incident. Yeah, the one I threw after finding out my entire family had stabbed me in the back. But Melissa didn't flinch. She stood up and dropped a thick file on the judge's desk. Exhibit A. Explicit communications between the petitioner and the respondent's brother, showing months of secret correspondence, admissions of romantic and physical involvement. Exhibit B. A journal entry written by Mrs. Green outlining a plan to manipulate the children's perception of their father. Exhibit C. Photographic evidence of the affair taking place within the marital home. Olivia turned pale. Jack shifted in his seat. The judge raised her eyebrows slightly. "Mrs. Green, do you dispute these materials?" She stammered. "These are private, taken without consent." "Ma'am," the judge said coldly, "you do realize that material collected by the spouse in their own shared residence is admissible, especially when the welfare of minor children is involved?" Jack finally stood up. "This has nothing to do with the kids. He's just bitter and trying to ruin her life." "Mr. Green," the judge cut him off. "You are not a party in this case. Sit down." I looked him dead in the eye as he slowly sat back down. His jaw clenched so tight it looked like it might snap. Then came the part one didn't expect. Liam was called to speak. He'd requested it himself. My heart dropped into my stomach. He walked in, 15 years old, already carrying the weight of betrayal on his shoulders. The judge asked if he wanted to speak privately, but he said no. "I want my dad to hear this," he said. Then he looked at me. "Dad?" I believed them. "I thought you didn't care. Uncle Jack told me you didn't even want us anymore." My heart broke right there in that room. But I saw the proof. I found Mom's journal too. She didn't know I could access her backup files on the cloud. And I know now she lied. "I'm sorry I didn't come to you sooner." Tears hit my eyes before I could stop them. I didn't even care who saw. That moment meant more than winning any damn case. Emma wasn't old enough to speak, but the court appointed a child psychologist who'd already met with her. The report? Olivia was pressuring her to call Jack Dad. That didn't sit well with the judge. Not at all. By the time we left that courtroom, I had temporary full custody and a court order blocking Olivia and Jack from making any major decisions regarding the kids. She screamed at me outside the courthouse. "You ruined everything, Mark. Everything." I looked her right in the eye. "No, Olivia. You did that. I just stopped playing dumb." Jack stepped forward like he was about to get physical. Security stopped him before I even had to lift a finger. "Touch me," I told him, dead calm. "Give me one more reason to take everything from you." He didn't. They walked away that day, angry, broken, and exposed. But me? I walked to my car with my daughter holding my hand, and my son quietly crying next to me. And for the first time in weeks, I felt like a father again. I thought that after the court hearing, the worst was behind me. But Olivia wasn't the type to lose quietly. No, a woman like her, manipulative, proud, bitter, wasn't going to accept defeat unless she dragged everyone else through hell with her. It started with little things. Emma came home one weekend from Olivia's with a brand new iPad. "Uncle Jack said it's for school," she said innocently. I opened it. No parental controls. Messaging apps. Links to chat groups. I asked Olivia about it, and she snapped. "Stop micromanaging everything. You're not their jailer, Mark." Then Liam told me Jack started showing up at his school football games. Sitting in the back row. Staring, not cheering. Like he wanted to remind him who he was, who he used to be. I had to file a motion just to keep Jack from making unsupervised contact with my kids. But the worst came one evening, a week after the court order. I got home from work, dropped my keys on the counter, and walked into my bedroom to change. I opened my drawer and paused. My gun was gone. Panic shot through me like electricity. I tore through the bedroom, then the closet, then the safe where I knew I locked it last. Empty. I grabbed my phone and called the police. They showed up within 20 minutes. They found the gun in the trunk of my own car, wrapped in a towel, with the serial number scratched off. The officer looked at me like I was trying to pull something. "You filed a report about it being missing?" "No, because I didn't even know it was gone until now," I said. "That safe hasn't been touched in months." He didn't believe me. I called Melissa. She told me it smelled like a setup. "They're trying to paint you as unstable. Dangerous." Next, she'll try to file for an emergency protective order claiming you're a threat to her or the kids. She was right. The next morning, I got a notice. Restraining order. Filed by Olivia. Claiming I threatened her, waved a weapon in front of Emma, and said I'd make them all pay. Complete fiction. She even included a fake witness statement from her friend Jenna, another snake who'd always gossiped behind my back. Melissa and I built our counter. Fast. We pulled security cam footage from the front of my house, Olivia's car parked outside 2 nights earlier when I wasn't home. We got text logs from Liam's phone, messages from Olivia trying to convince him not to tell anyone she came by just to talk. We presented it all. The judge dismissed the restraining order in 5 minutes flat. But that wasn't the win that mattered to me. The win was Liam coming to me afterward, looking exhausted, and saying, "Dad, I'm done with her. I want to stay here full time." We filed for full, permanent custody the same week. But something still didn't sit right. Because the deeper I looked, the more I realized this wasn't just about betrayal or custody, it was about control. Olivia had spent years building her little kingdom. She wore the mask of the sweet suburban wife, but she was rotten all the way to the roots. And Jack? He was just the weapon she chose to destroy me. A disposable tool she could use to take my place and wear my crown. But I wasn't done yet. Not even close. I started making calls. Quiet ones. To an old friend of mine who worked cybersecurity. "I want everything," I told him. Emails, hidden folders, deleted chats, burner accounts. Anything she ever tried to bury. And I meant it. Because if Olivia thought I was just going to walk away from the wreckage she created, she didn't know the man she married. She knew the fool. But now, she was about to meet the man behind the fire. I always believed that no matter how good a lie is, the truth leaves footprints. You just need to know where to look. My old friend Caleb, ex-military, now running a freelance cybersecurity operation from his basement, was the kind of guy who could break into the Pentagon if you asked nicely. I called him 2 days after Olivia's failed restraining order. Told him everything. Gave him access to everything I had. 3 days later, he sent me a message. "We need to talk." What I found isn't just about her and Jack. I met him at a diner just outside of town. He brought his laptop and slid it over to me with a grim look. "She's not just a liar, Mark," he said. "She's been covering her tracks for years." I scrolled through what he found. Multiple email aliases. Fake accounts linked to gift card purchases. Airbnb rentals booked under a friend's name. Bank transactions that didn't match our joint accounts. "She's been funneling money," he said. "And not just recently. This started way before Jack." My stomach twisted. "There's more," Caleb said. He clicked into a folder labeled Cloud Archive Recovered. Inside were screenshots from a hidden cloud backup, one Olivia had tried to wipe months ago. Videos, chats, photos, and names. Other names. Not just Jack. There were at least 3 other men she'd been with over the last 2 years. One of them a client of mine. One a dad from Emma's dance class. The other, an ex from college she accidentally ran into during a business trip. In one message, she wrote, "Jack's just the endgame. Mark never saw any of it. He's too obsessed with being the provider to notice I've been living my real life behind his back." That sentence hit me like a steel bat to the chest. I stared at the screen for a long time. The truth felt heavier than I ever imagined. Jack wasn't the start. He was just the finale to a long, disgusting opera that I never knew I was in. "You okay, man?" Caleb asked. I nodded slowly. Yeah, I am. Because now I know everything. I left the diner with a hard drive and the kind of clarity that doesn't come from peace, but from war. Back home, I watched the videos. Not to punish myself, but to understand the level of deception I was up against. Olivia wasn't just unfaithful. She was strategic. She laughed in videos while calling me boring, mocked how I folded my laundry, said I was too clean, too safe, too dumb to ever suspect a thing. She told one of her lovers that Jack was just a placeholder too, that she didn't really love anyone but herself. That was the moment I stopped feeling pain. I felt purpose. This wasn't about heartbreak anymore. It wasn't even about custody or revenge. It was about justice. That night, I started building my final case. I compiled a master file, every photo, video, message, timeline. I even printed transcripts and indexed the evidence. Melissa was going to have the nuclear bomb in court, and Olivia wouldn't see it coming until it detonated. But I also made a second file, one that wasn't for court. It was for Liam and Emma. Because one day, when they're older, and they ask why everything fell apart, I won't just give them words. I'll give them truth. Pure, brutal truth. The next morning, I called Olivia. Asked her to meet me at a neutral cafe. No lawyers. No yelling. Just us. She showed up late, of course. Hair done, sunglasses too big, trying to look like the innocent wife wronged by her cruel ex. "You wanted something?" she said, not even sitting. I slid a flash drive across the table. "What's this?" "Your greatest hits," I said. "Uncut. Chronological. The full show." She paused. Her fingers twitched, but she didn't take it. "I'm not playing your games, Mark." "You don't have to," I said. "But if you ever file another motion, tell another lie to my kids, or so much as breathe about taking them away from me again, this goes public." Her jaw clenched. "You wouldn't." I smiled. "Try me." She didn't say another word, just turned and left. But I saw it in her walk. Fear. Finally, after the cafe showdown, things went quiet. Too quiet. For a couple of weeks, Olivia didn't call. Jack didn't send any smug messages. There were no new court filings, no suspicious cars parked across from my house. Just silence. But silence like that doesn't mean peace. It means they're regrouping, waiting, leading out behind the curtain, deciding whether to retaliate or retreat. And then the email came. From Jack. Subject, "Let's talk." I stared at the screen, heat rising in my chest. Of all the people to reach out, it had to be him. I clicked. "Mark, I get it. You're mad. I crossed the line. Maybe we both did. But this doesn't need to go nuclear. You have the kids. She's not fighting it anymore. Let's just keep this between us." Coward. I didn't respond. Instead, I drove. Straight to our parents' house, yes, mine and Jack's. Because I needed to see their faces when I told them what their younger son had really done. They welcomed me in like nothing had happened. My dad offered me a beer. My mom smiled, maybe too forced. They wanted things back to normal. I dropped the flash drive on their table. "What's this?" my father asked, frowning. "Proof," I said, "of everything Jack and Olivia did. And not just the affair." My mother didn't move. She just stared. "I'm giving you the chance to see it yourselves. So when I say I'm cutting Jack out of my life permanently, you won't ask why. You can't mean that, my mom whispered. I do, I said. And if you don't want to believe what's on that drive, that's your choice. But I'm done pretending we're still a family. Jack showed up 10 minutes later. I guess they called him. He barged in, jaw tight. What the hell, Mark? You coming here to start more drama? No, Jack, I said calmly. I'm here to end it. He looked at our parents. You told him to come? No, my dad muttered. He came on his own. Left something for us to watch. Jack looked at the flash drive, then back at me. You seriously think airing all our dirty laundry helps anyone? I stood up, walked right up to him. You slept with my wife, I said, voice low. You helped her try to take my kids. And now that it's all crashing down, you want to make peace. He laughed bitterly. She used me too, man. You think I won in all this? She played me just like she played you. I didn't flinch. Then you're just as pathetic as you were poisonous. You're not so perfect, Mark. I nodded. I never said I was. But I never ked my brother's wife. He looked away. My mom was crying. My dad said nothing. I'm done, I said, turning toward the door. This was your one chance to face the truth with me. What you do with it now is on you. I left and never looked back. That night, Liam knocked on my bedroom door. Dad, he said softly, I don't want to see Uncle Jack anymore. Ever. You won't, I promised. We hugged. The next day, Olivia sent a message through her lawyer. Just one line. We won't contest full custody. We're withdrawing all motions. Checkmate. But here's the twist. It didn't feel like victory. Not the kind I thought it would. There was no celebration. No champagne. Just a heavy, eerie stillness in the house, like the echo of a storm that had passed but left everything soaked and cracked. I stood in the kitchen that evening, staring at a picture of our family from 2 years ago. A fake moment. A snapshot of 4 people smiling when 3 of them were already living lies. And yet, I kept it. Not to remember the betrayal, but to remind myself how easy it is to be fooled by comfort and routine. To remind myself never to ignore the signs again. Liam and Emma were safe now, and I had control of my life again. But inside me, something was still smoldering. Something unfinished. Because sometimes, even when you win the war, you still want revenge. The storm had passed. I had full custody. The legal war was over. Olivia and Jack were silent, keeping their distance like 2 dogs who'd finally realized they bit into the wrong man. But silence wasn't closure. Not for me. Because Olivia got to walk away with her reputation mostly intact. Jack still had his job, his charm, his little circle of sycophants who saw him as the misunderstood brother who fell in love. Disgusting. They thought time would wash away what they did. They thought I'd forget. So I made the final move. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was precise. Surgical. I started with Olivia's career. She worked in PR. Appearance was everything. I sent a thick, anonymous packet to her firm's board of directors. Inside, screenshots, recorded phone calls, even excerpts from her journal, especially the part where she admitted manipulating her husband and using her children as leverage. It didn't take long. 3 days later, she was suspended. A week after that, fired, without cause, but we both knew exactly why. She called me that night, voice shaking. You bastard. Do you know what you've done to my life? I let the silence grow heavy before answering. I gave you a taste of what you did to mine. She hung up. Then came Jack. I waited a little longer with him. I wanted him to feel safe again, to believe it was over. He worked in real estate. Trust was everything in that game. I fed a story, through a contact, to a local blog that focused on community business affairs. They published it, anonymously sourced, but filled with just enough detail to be undeniable. Local agent caught an affair with brother's wife while assisting divorce. His firm dropped him 3 days later. The final touch? I emailed the full dossier to his biggest client, who was looking to buy up half the west side of town. They cut ties that same afternoon. Jack tried calling me too. 3 times. Left a voicemail on the last try. You made your point, man. You win. But this is too far. You ruined us. I played it back twice. You ruined us. Like he was the victim. I didn't reply. Because I wasn't done. I turned inward next. Toward myself. I started therapy. Not because I was broken, but because I refused to let their poison take root in me. I talked through every crack in my marriage, every blind spot, every moment I ignored my gut. And I started healing. Not forgetting healing. Liam began to smile again. Real smiles, not those tight, polite ones. Emma slept through the night. We started having movie nights again, just the 3 of us. I began to remember who I was before Olivia sank her claws in. And one night, as we sat on the couch watching some dumb animated movie, Liam leaned over and said, "I'm proud of you, Dad." Those 5 words did what no courtroom victory or revenge ever could. They gave me peace. Because this wasn't just about betrayal anymore. It was about survival. I had survived her lies, his betrayal, the gaslighting, the setups, the schemes. And I didn't just survive, I won. Not in court, not on paper, but where it really mattered. In my kids' hearts, in my own self-respect, and in the silence that followed when my enemies realized I wasn't a man they could break. Final reflection. If you're reading this, and you're in that place, that numb, dark space where everything feels fake and broken, listen to me. Trust your gut. Don't ignore the quiet red flags. Don't excuse the lies because you're afraid of what they mean. And when the truth comes crashing down, don't just get angry. Get smart. Get strong. And get up. Because the best revenge isn't screaming or fighting or begging. It's living a life so clean, so strong, and so unapologetically yours that the people who tried to destroy you can only watch from the ruins of the kingdom they tried to steal. My name is Mark. I lost my marriage, but I found myself, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.